African Transformation Movement now saying it has formally lodged a complaint with the public protector calling for an investigation into the Minister of Police, Senzo Mchunu. Let's bring in the party's MP, Vuyo Zungula. Thank you for your time this afternoon. And the fact that the president says he is surprised, perhaps surprised by the timing of the press briefing held by Mkhwanazi on Sunday. But can you imagine that the president is surprised by the allegations contained in that briefing, Vuyo?
We are not surprised that he's surprised, because he's forever shocked, he's forever surprised, especially when there's wrongdoing at the side of his colleagues, his ANC comrades. General Mkhwanazi, on the 5th of March this year, did speak in the Portfolio Committee on Police, and he made reference to some of the issues that he repeated on Sunday. Therefore, for the president to be someone that is shocked, that is surprised, I think he's just playing with the nation, because he wants to project himself as someone that was not aware about the challenges that is facing the police. You'll recall that even during the times of the unrest in 2021, there was a recommendation that the National Command Center, which is headed by him as a president, previously it did not sit. Now it came to via recommendation that it must sit. Therefore, for him not to be aware about something that is so sensitive when it comes to policing, for us, it is not surprising that he is surprised.
The complaint that's now been lodged formally by your party to the public protector, tell us more about the kind of investigation that you're calling for, particularly into the police minister.
The Executive Members Ethics Act guides the conduct of cabinet members in terms of issues concerning the conflict of interest, acting in good faith and in the public interest. So that is the nature of the complaint, to have the public protector investigate whether Mr. Mchunu did not put himself in a position whereby there was a conflict of interest between his official duties as well as his private interest, particularly as General Mkhwanazi stipulated that the political activities of Mr. Mchunu, Minister Mchunu, were funded by this Mr. Nhlanhla, and also when it comes to acting in the public interest. So we would want to find out through the public protector whether what informed that decision to disband a unit that is there to deal with the political killings and the killings of Amakhosi, because we know that it is something that is so prevalent, especially in KZN, and to have a unit that was effective, dealing with very, very sensitive issues. So we want to understand as to what informed that. Was that decision in the interest of the people, or it was a decision that was taken not for the benefit of South African citizens?
Yeah, you talk about the political killings task team and the scourge of political killings that we've had over a number of decades, and perhaps particularly in KwaZulu-Natal. There's certainly a question around the reason and the timing of the disbandment of that unit.
Definitely. And also, how many people were involved in taking that decision? Was it a rational decision where the stakeholders consulted? Because General Mkhwanazi, who heads the police in KZN, where that team was operational, claimed that he did not know what that decision. He only heard of it from that individual who sent him a WhatsApp message. So it is those decisions that we want investigated as to what were the reasons why there was that disbandment. Was it in the public interest? And is there any other hand besides an official hand of the government that was involved in influencing the government minister to take a decision to disband a task team, a unit that is doing work that is really dismantling the political killings and the killings of Amakhosi in KZN.
Do you think perhaps the thing that makes it complicated, perhaps that's not the right word, but that means the president doesn't address this full on in a way that excludes political expediency? Or do you think much of our response as a government to these kinds of allegations comes from the fact that we are party members in many ways, first and foremost?
Indeed. Look, the issue here is that when DA threatened to walk out of the GNU, Mr. Ramaphosa postponed his trip to Spain last week. Now, when he is hearing something that is so serious that concerns our national security, because any conflict, any misunderstanding, or any tensions in the police apparatus is something that concerns the state stability. But he relaxes and he says only when he comes back he's going to deal with the problem. And the other issue that people need to understand is that Mr. Ramaphosa now has got the benefit of evidence because General Mkhwanazi did provide proof of payments, WhatsApp messages that clearly implicate Minister Mchunu. Now, he should have acted then in terms of reprimanding him, in fact, removing him from the position of being minister. However, the trick part that he is definitely dealing with now is that it is the very same Minister Mchunu who concealed a report from the IPID regarding the Phala issue that implicates Mr. Ramaphosa or the police that were attached to Ramaphosa. So it's a case whereby Mr. Ramaphosa, now the president of the country, might be persuaded to protect Minister Mchunu because Minister Mchunu also protected him by concealing the IPID report that was clearly going to show that Mr. Ramaphosa unlawfully gave an instruction to police to conduct an illegal investigation into the theft of his undeclared dollars, which was found in his farm.
So if you could direct the president's steps in how he deals with these bombshell revelations made by the KZN Police Commissioner, what would they be?
The first thing is to remove Minister Mchunu. There is no way in which you could have a compromised minister, especially dealing with a very, very sensitive portfolio of police, because police is the one department that needs to oversee the fight of crime in our country. Now, to have a minister that is clearly working with criminals, enjoying benefits from criminals, communicating with criminals to an extent whereby criminals are the ones who communicate an official decision made by the very same minister to other police commissioners from the different provinces. It is something that should never be tolerated. You can't have someone that is so compromised in that position, especially in the light of South Africa that has got a very, very high crime problem whereby over 70 people are murdered every day. You've got a drug trafficking problem, human trafficking problem. You've got illicit, illegal mining. So you've got all of these crimes that are happening, and the police is central in terms of dismantling all of those criminal activities. Because at the very same time, South African citizens need to have confidence that when they are stopped by policemen, it is not a rogue policeman. They need to abide by whatever instruction they are given by that policeman. Now, what General Mkhwanazi has unearthed on Sunday, it is a web of criminality that is happening, that is facilitated by people we should be trusting. Now, if Mr. Ramaphosa does not act on Mr. Mchunu, then he cannot say he wants to have a country or is leading a country whereby law and order is the order of the day, because he himself is encouraging lawlessness by protecting a minister that is compromised.
Vuyo Zungula is MP for the African Transformation Movement, the ATM party, filing a request for the public protector to investigate particularly the collapse of political killing task force. Vuyo, thanks very much indeed for your time. It brings us